of Darren Ford.
Then we have Roland Smith from Hastings on stand number 4.
And probably one of our best young up-and-coming shearers on stand 3, Mark Granger.
Fielding's Aaron Haynes is on the second stand.
And once again, representing Southland on stand number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Stratford.
Oh, you've got
Southland,
you've got
Fielding,
you've got a few.
Pickawiddy,
You've got a few. You've got
Hastings, Southland.
You've got a few. I can't get a word in here.
The South Island.
Oh, good.
Go with the South.
Couldn't get a word in, ladies and gentlemen. The North Islanders are going to have to drown out these South Islanders. But anyway, good luck to all the contestants. They have 10 of these Narahuna sheep. Had a bit of a touch and go at them over the last elimination round, so they know what they're all about. Beautiful stuff. They'll see these grand shearers, great athletes, perform in front of us. Just a quick squiz at the sheep.
And the top 6, of course, here this afternoon. We'll go through.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the Wairarapa. We're at the Golden Shears 2017. We're just about to launch in with the Open Shearing semi-finals, and we've got some young boys there, and they got a bit of fire in their belly.
They have. I'm excited. I'd like to climb over and get down there. There's a couple of boys particularly got a point to prove. Roland Smith, hasn't had a very happy road into the semi-final. There's a few other boys. I was talking to David Fagan earlier on. He said, I expect to see a few new faces in this final. It's wide open. It's probably as wide open as it's been for a while. Rolly Smith struggling a bit. He's been the red hot favourite. He's won a lot of shows, but there's some of these boys. Dion King has come from nowhere. Boy, he looks sharp. Is this going to be Mark Granger's night? Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited too. Yeah, you're dead right. I mean, we've got young Aaron Haynes. He's made a Golden Shears final. He's got a little wee bit of experience under his belt. Mark Granger. Now, he is a serious dark horse. If he gets through, it could be anyone's game. You got Nathan Stratford. You can never
write him off.
Right.
Well, none of them. They haven't got here because they're bad or to make up the numbers. They're all pretty good shearers. Yeah. Darren Ford, the old warhorse from the deep south, he's there. And if the rhythm strikes and he's away, well, he could be there as well. And then hang on, this is just the first semi-final. We've got another one coming. Crikey, it's looking good. The tension's building up. There they go. They're in for that first sheep.
These guys, the preparation that these guys are doing is just amazing. They'll be out there. They won't be getting up there cold, will they? They'll be getting up there and they will be warm. Muscles will be warmed up. They'll be ready to go.
They've shown a couple of things. Mark Granger was in the YFC ribbon event earlier this morning. There's a young man down on stand 6, young Andrew Frew from Timaru. He's a new boy, just a bit of a dark, well, not so much a dark horse, but a new face, fresh face into the semis. Is he going to get there, or will the occasion get to him? But it's looking pretty even at the moment. But it's this young man Stratford down the end here, Stratty as they call him, all the way from Invercargill in the deep south. Was in the New Zealand team and the world champs there. Granger looks like he's well. It's Roland Smith, the next world champion there. He's going down that last side. What's our time? How are they looking? But it's Stratford's the first one in. I would say it's Haynes, the man from Fielding in the Manawatu. Roland Smith now out of Hastings, former Northland dad. He's in. So's Frew, the young man from Timaru. Crikey, it's looking good. What's the time there, Tuma? Can we see what the time is?
Well, we haven't got the time, but that'll be coming up.
1:07, we hear a whisper in our ears, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, we've got Nathan Stratford. Don't really see a lot of Nathan being out in front, but it would be good for him to be first off. It'll be a new thing up here in the North Island anyway. Long blow time for the Stratford, Stratman as we call him, and he's going to turn to the last side. You can see the time points there, 4.3. Every 20 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 point. So when he gets to 5 points, that would be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how that works. And you've got the board. Now, I'm not sure. How many sheep are these guys shearing?
I'd be 12, I would imagine. Is it 12? No, 10. 10 sheep it is that they're shearing. Look at the job on that. That's our man Stratford there. Stratford still going in there. He's looking pretty good. Pulls it out, sits it down there, grabs the thing, checks the tension on the handpiece. Smith and Haynes both in as well. Haynes is a little bit of a dark horse there on two, but look at Stratty. He's going well. That's a minute 20 that's gone so far. Board points looking good. That's second cuts on the board. That's 0.3 of 1 point, so that's looking pretty nice. Here we go. Who's this? This is Aaron Haynes, the young man from Fielding in the Manawatu there. And look at his points there. Point 2 goes up the neck there, round behind the ear. Doing some beautiful shots here. Just a bit of a niggle. He stops, cleans off the back of the ear there. Pulls in that first front leg. 2 blows, 3 blows. There you can see Mark Granger behind him, the man from Tikawiti. But it's Haynes. Look at the way he's coming around there. Looks like a beautiful job on the side of that sheep there, Tuma.
Yes, you did right. There was a little bit of a second cut. He would have tried to squirm his way around so that the judge was behind him so he couldn't see it. But these judges, they've been shearers. They know where these guys make second cuts. So these judges, they would be preparing themselves for where, you know, they think that they are. And on 3, we have young Mark Granger. And this young man, he's been ruffling a few feathers the last few years. He has real good runs. Predictable on what he's going to do. It's usually fast and clean, isn't it, Richard?
Yeah, he's a very, very clean shearer. And we just clocked over 3 minutes, and those guys are already shorn their 3rd sheep. You can see Roland Smith behind there, already into the dark end of it. But here's Granger here. He's the one we're looking at the moment. 0.6 of his board points. That means that he's only made 6 second cuts over 4 sheep. So that's that's pretty good going. You can see a sheep behind there kicking itself to death. That's poor old Roland Smith, the current Golden Shears champion there, wanting to have a dance with that one. But Granger, the man in the spotlight there at the moment, goes up the neck there, cleans that second one up the neck, round behind the ear, cleans in front of the eye and behind the ears. There he goes, 2 more blows, pulls up that front leg. There'll be 2 blows there and he's down in the long blows. Look at them there, they're just flying them in there. But this is the open, so therefore you are got to go. There's no place here for just taking your time and having a cruise. There's nothing of that. You've got to keep going. What do you think, Tommy? You think he's going to get there?
Well, I think he needs to pull his finger out. We're on stand 4 right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's Roland Smith. He is the 6'7" shearer. He was the former world champion. He is the current Golden Shears and New Zealand Shearing Champs champion. Into the undermine he works. He's having a little bit of a struggle with these sheep. They're not quite sitting for him, playing the game, but these are professional shearers. They should be able to handle it. A lot of it is probably their gear selection. They might have gone a little wee bit too thick, or there might be a little bit of pull on the gear that's making the sheep kick a little bit. Round the head he works, and he's about to drop into the long blow, giving a few uppercuts as he comes down to the long blow. Here he is. We've got young Mark Granger. A little bit of trouble for him in front of Rowley, but Rowley's into the long blow. He's about to turn to the last side. Look at the finish on that sheep. It is absolutely beautiful. You could eat your breakfast off that sheep. Down over the shoulder he works, and he is just shaving that sheep, Richard.
I'd rather eat the sheep for breakfast than eat my sheep, eat it off him. But also, here you go. This is the current the current Golden Shears champions. Be aware, Johnny Kirkpatrick, who is the current world champion, was crowned only 2 weeks ago. He didn't even make the semi-final. He got blown away in the quarterfinal, so he's not there. That's what we're saying, a huge upset. These sheep are sorting them out. This is Darren Ford, the old warhorse from the deep south. He was a world record holder. He saw the world Euro record. He held it for 19 years before someone came and took it away from him just recently. And I believe that was Matthew Smith over there in England. So, yeah, this man's no slug with the sheep as well. And look at the board points. He hasn't even clicked over a point yet. 6 sheep, and he hasn't even done 6 second cuts. It's amazing. And you can see the sheep behind him there wriggling and fighting away. But Ford, he knows how to shear ewes. This man is just an absolute beast on these sheep. And look at him come around that side there. 2 big blows on the thing. It looks like we're cutting to a wide shot. Where are we going? You can see Smith on 6, Stratford down here. He's coming down the last side. I would assume that he's the man and thing. Looks like it's Haynes and Stratford, 1 and 2. They're the first 2 in for their next sheep. So it's obviously Stratford managing to keep his little nose in front. He's going all right. Ford, the one we were watching down there on 5, he just pops in sheep number 6. He's in for 7 as well. As I said, you don't be a world record holder for years without being able to keep up with the pace. Smith there, the man pulls it in. There you go. What do you think about this young man through here, Tuma?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know a lot about this young man, Anthony Frew, but I'm really going to do my research now. He's fresh face up here in the open class into the semi-final. We've got guys that have been shearing for many, many years that have never made the semi-final, and this young guy, first time I've seen him, and he's into it. And he looks like he's got a very, very good pattern, the way that he just moves his way around the sheep. That sheep, she's a little wee bit grumpy, but he'll be and have enough knowledge to settle it down and move along quietly. He's on to sheep number 7. He's right there with these other guys. It's the stands 1 and 2. I think they're a little wee ways in front, but just the way this guy's moving around the sheep at the moment. He looks like he is very, very capable. Nathan Stratford, Stratty, he's still out in front. He looks like his gear might be a little bit over tension. The handpiece is jumping around a little bit when he's turning his machine on, Richard.
It might be, but look at the board points. Still really fantastic at 0.8. The pen points out there, perhaps a little bit higher than some of the others, but it's just a minor technicality. But hang on, we've got 4 guys there, all just coming up the neck or the undermined. It's only perhaps that young man Granger that pops it down there and through. They're the last 2 to pull sheep number 8 out, but it's only half a sheep between them. That's only about 5 blows. That might be 10 or 15 seconds for these guys, and it's 7.5 minutes gone. A number of sheep on 8 on the board, so they're shearing these sheep in about 50 seconds each. So that's pretty good going there, Tomo. And there you go. There's young Stratty coming down that last side. He's really taken the bit, got the bit in the teeth, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and the job that he's doing at the moment that you can see is amazing. Here we go, we got Aaron Haynes. Aaron Haynes, he's actually a bit of a crusty demon. He loves getting out on his motorbike on the weekends, going around and doing these crazy jumps. He's a bit of an adrenaline junkie. He reckons that he doesn't do weights, but he is one of these guys with muscles on muscles. Look at him, ladies and gentlemen. The guy is built like a Terminator. He's built like one of these WWE wrestlers, and in he goes for another one. He's got a little beauty there. He's chasing the Stratman. The Stratman, up the neck he goes. Aaron Haynes pumping it down the belly. We got the young boy from Tikawiti, Granger. He changes the handpiece. He's got the fresh steel on. A lot of these guys, they're allowed 2 handpieces at a time. Is that right, Richard?
That's right. They can have 2 handpieces to check different sheep. It's not looking good for Rolly Smith here with his board at 2.4 and his pen on 3.7. Those are actually perhaps some of the higher ones there. And as we say, this man is the current Shears champ, but we've lost the world champ. Are we going to lose our Golden Shears champ as well? Granger throws in a couple of big blows there, but this is young Rolly Smith. Come on, Rolly. I'm a passionate Northland man. He comes from the far north, but now working out of the Hawke's Bay area, but he's a fantastic shearer. There'll be a few over in England. His brother and sister-in-law and them, they'll be cheering him on. There's a sweat there. They'll look at Granger there on 3. He's going, but Haynes flips another one out. Stratford there. He's making a little bit of a race of this down there. He's already got sheep number 10. You've got 4 of them with sheep number 10 on. There's not much between them. It's only Granger coming down that side, but Granger's quality will be there. How's our man Frew going on down there, Tomo?
Oh, looks like the Frew boy is going well. He turns to the last side. He's got complete control of that sheep. He's on sheep number 9. These other guys are on sheep number 10. Granger's on 10 as well. But at the moment, it's still Nathan Stratford. He's coming down the last side, clearing above the shoulder. We've got Roland Smith and Darren Ford chasing hard on stands 4 and 5. Mark Granger, he's into the belly. Look at these guys. Aaron Haynes, he's even pushing it. But the Stratman, he's getting faster. He'd be wishing there's more sheep, Richard.
That's the 10 sheep. That's amazing. He very much a dark horse. As we said, this field's wide open. There's the other man from Southland. He's the second man off. Crikey, our fellow commentator, Harrow will be loving this. And there's Smith, the man from Hastings, pops the button as well. That time's pretty good. Just gone 10 minutes. So they've shorn those sheep in a minute each. There's Haynes. He's off. Had a bit of a struggler on that last one. But here's young Granger, this man here, as they say, he's a pretty good effort. At 37.8 there. Actually, that's the best on up there on the board at the moment. So we'll see how they go. Granger there beside him. And it looks at this stage that Roland Smith's got the better points between the whole lot. Young Darren Ford there, not so hot, but Stratty's got a pretty good job there as well. Look at the board points on Stratford and Haynes. It might be those ones, but hey, this is early days. We'll see what happens. And the young lad there from Anthony Frew, this will be put down to experience, this one. Because, hey, you're right up with the big boys. He's not a name we've seen a lot of, so he obviously must be a very good young shearer down there. He stepped up. I'm really excited. Now let's look forward to the next one. Or we dissect this. Tomo, yeah, that was exciting.
It certainly was exciting. Well, we've got to wait for the numbers to turn yellow, and then that is the definite points. I think there's Aaron Haynes is 32. Here he is, 32.2. And we've got
39.
39.2 and 36.2.
36.2.
So there'll be a lot of nervous, anxious shearers out there at the moment. You could see them all.
Very much.
Even Roland Smith, looking up at the monitor, looking at seeing what everyone else is doing. Oh, like Nathan Stratford, what a great shear, 1.1, Everett, 1.1 on the board, 5.3 out back.
That's what I'm saying. You look at Roland's there at 3. That's very high for Smith. He hasn't had a very happy shear, and it's not looking good. 41.8 for Granger, 38.5 for Smith, 42.1 for Ford, Frew sitting on 41. It'll be a little bit more because they haven't done that last sheep on him yet. But yes, I think Roland Smith will be a little bit disappointed at this stage. He's in second.
Frew had a good share.
Yeah, 41.9. So he was a very good quality job. Just the pace letting him down a bit. But hey, that young's a very young man. There's plenty of time to come, years to come. When you look at Johnny Kirkpatrick, well in the 40s, and he's still up there was doing it. But this year's been a huge upset for him. So let's see what happens.
These sheep are really giving these guys a hard time, aren't they?
They are.
It's like they're not full of grass, they're not full of water, but it's the breeding of the sheep now, isn't it? They call it high vigor.
Yeah,
they want a sheep with high vigor.
Well, you get people jumping up and down and they're talking about genetic engineering and genetic modification. Well, hang on, just about all the sheep in New Zealand have been genetically modified or genetically engineered with us using crossbreeds and things like this. And a lot of these new composite breeds, as they say, have got Texel, Finn, they've got Romney, they've got Border Leicester in them. And sometimes you end up with the worst traits out of all of them, and they're all pretty horrible things if they want to jump up and down and be nasty to you. And it's a bit of a worry really, but that's what happens, and this is what's happened in with the sheep industry. Things have changed, and it's a bit of a worry.
Well, they introduced a lot of exotic breeds, didn't they? Was it the East Frisian that they introduced to increase fertility?
The Finn was for that. The East Frisian was a milking thing. They were hoping to get the milking industry here going, and it hasn't really taken off yet, but I think it's an industry that's likely when you have the government with their Landcorp farms suddenly starting to milk 3,000 and 4,000 and 5,000 sheep, and you've got a couple down in the Southland there milking 20,000 sheep. Yep. All of a sudden you've got to start sitting and thinking, well, hey, that's not such a bad idea. There's a little farm here in the Wairarapa where you've got a family who's got 19 hectares, 200 sheep, and there's a living there for a husband and wife, and they actually employ someone to help them. So
200 sheep,
220
wow.
sheep. So you've got to start scratching your head and thinking, well, but they are processing their own milk into cheese, into feta, and that sort of thing. So there's a bit in it, but yes, hey, maybe there is a future there, and maybe this will be a resurgence in the sheep industry because dairy's taken over, and with what's happening with clean streams and these sort of things, it might change. But there we are. Now this is Heat 2. On stand 1, Dion King. Stand 2, Pirata Abraham. On 3, the Scotchman Kevin Much. On 4, the top qualifier into here, Tony Costa. On 5, Murray Henderson, the Manawatu boy, and the local lad, David Buick. Hey, this is exciting as well, isn't it, Tuma?
Oh, it's very exciting. I'm usually by now I like to go home and have a bit of a rest because we've been here since the start, but this is where it's all at. At the Golden Shears. Golden Shears are the sponsor of this event, and that's Phil Morrison and his committee. They've done a wonderful job of getting out there. They get out there and they get off their backsides and they make sure that they get the sponsorship for everything. We've got a wonderful venue, live streaming. It's magic. We can get out there and get into these guys' houses. They can be there with us. We had a young girl, Annalise. She's from Norway, and her parents were up watching. I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning, up there watching. A young man from England that young, was it Fruit? No, what was his name? The young boy.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Slick Nick.
Yeah.
Greaves.
Nick Greaves. And he managed to get through to the senior final there in Shaw. Great, and he's saying g'day to mum and dad on the thing. Well, it's modern technology. It's
magic.
Great, and it's part of the reason why we're here.
Yep.
These shearers just having a quick look in there. It'll be interesting to see what King does. He saw them do that, and also this Pirata Abraham. Last year he just went for the doctor and went nuts, and he tore the house down with people yelling and screaming. The local lad there on stand 2. Is he going to do that? You better go out and give him a shot of booster or something. What do they give horses to make them run faster? But I don't think he needs any of that to go like a cut cat.
Now I see Pirata. He's got the referee going into his pen. What's going on there?
Some of these shearers, they see something they don't like. This one here's probably got pink toenails or something. No, it's the wool. It's quite possibly they've been out on the farm there. Like, it's hard to keep wool on sheep this time of the year. Might be a sandy bank and it's got a whole lot of sand in its back that takes the edge off the gear and things like this. And the job of the referee is to make sure it's fair and even, and all the shearers have got similar type sheep. It's not fair if someone's got half a dozen sandy ones in his and the other guys have got all that in the same. So it's got to be fair, or someone gets 4 big ones and the other ones get all the small ones. They balance them out and they make it even. And they actually spend a lot of time doing that when you get to the final, making those sheep fair.
Well, look at these guys. Look at Gavin Mutchie. He's full of concentration.
He's a character the way he sticks his foot inside the door. It's like in the line out at rugby. You put your feet in the right position to make your move to jump and things like this, and he's there, and you'll see him just flick the gate and he's gone. And he's already there. He hardly moves, but he's back out there into position. He's first man with the sheep up because he's got that step ahead.
Is he allowed to do that?
It's a technical thing you can do, and this is what I'm saying. This is how technical it comes down to microseconds. And there he is. He's already flipped the top knot off, and he's away. And there we are. Dion King's up the neck as well. You watch this man here on stand 1, and the young man, the Scotchman, there on stand 3. But yeah, it's that little pocket rocket between them. Pirate Abraham, he's as well. But hello. Who's that big man down the end there? That's Buick. Looks like he's going well. But it's Much that's around into the last side first over that shoulder. It's Much the Scotchman. Is he going to do what Nathan Stratty did in that first one? Costa will be a little bit slow, but hey, he was the top qualifier, and you watch him. He's a fantastic all-breed shearer. He won't go like crazy, but his points and things will be immaculate, so it'll be interesting. Much had that first one out. What's his time? I have no idea. What was the time on that one? Oh, it says 57 seconds. There you go. So they are right there with it, Tuma.
They certainly are. Pirate Abraham, just a little wee bit of a niggle, so he needs to recompose himself. Yeah, that's right. Recompose himself. Start again. Deep breaths. You always got to find your rhythm and timing. Once your rhythm and timing comes, the shearing is not that difficult, but it's finding that rhythm and that timing. That's where Gavin Much comes up on trumps, because he's got a real quick hand. He's got a real quick start, and it comes down to him actually ending up putting pressure on everybody else having to catch up with him. Isn't that right, Richard?
That's right. And I see someone behind, looked like Murray Henderson, actually had to pull out and stop the cord down on stand 5 and things. But here we are with Dion King on stand 1. Look at his boy and things. This boy here really put the acid on him in the thing earlier on in the heats, and it was a very impressive shear he had there. But look at him come down here. This man is a former world record holder of lambs, 866 lambs in a 9-hour day. He held that record. He's now a farmer, so he sort of changed his focus a little bit. Recently bought a farm, but yes, as you can see there, he's still going pretty well. But that's Dion King. Who's that? That's young Pirata there. Obviously not happy with that handpiece. That's only 2 sheep and he's changed it. That's very unusual. Obviously not quite happy with where he is. But you can be assured if this one's a rocket, my goodness, he'll be away. Oh, that sheep didn't like that one. So he squeezes in on it there, squeezes down, and already look at the shine on the back of that sheep there as he takes the top knot up and goes up the neck. But look at Much behind him there, already going in for sheep number 4. So there we go. Crikey, that was quick from him. Was that 2.5 minutes for 3 sheep, Tuma?
Wow,
that's flying.
It is flying. Pirate Abraham, I think I seen him do the same in the quarters as well. He short 2 sheep and changed his cutter, his handpiece. So something's not quite clicking for young Pirate at the moment, but he has got the ability to get through to the next round. He did it in the quarters to make it through the semis. But just look at the job he's doing on that sheep. He is absolutely polishing that sheep. You're going to need a bit of suntan lotion for that girl, I think, Richard. She might get skin cancer out there.
Don't worry about the bright lights. It's the sign off the sheep that'll be getting you, will be giving you eye cancer. I better keep away from myself.
But here we go. We got Gavin Much. He was a world champion. I think he won his world championship here in Masterton. So he knows this place. He loves it here in Masterton. He loves these sheep. These sheep really suit him with his real quick hand. And he just loves it. And the shine that he's getting off his sheep too, as you can see, wonderful. The cameras that we got here is amazing. Just the views, the angles.
Views that you get. Yeah, you're dead right there, Toma. But yes, as you say, he's a Scotty, but then he's a proud Scotty. But he's also bought a farm here in New Zealand, and he's brought his whole family here, and he actually farms in New Zealand as well. And look at him stepping up the neck there as he goes. 3 minutes 50, and he's on sheep number 5. So he's shown 4 complete sheep in 3 minutes 55. So he is well ahead of the other heat. So it's not looking that great for the ones that were in that first heat. When you see these guys going like that, is it, Tuma? It's not looking great.
No, it's not, because this guy here, he is going to be the make or break of those guys. And at the moment, he is just powering through it. Look at that, a lot of short, sharp blows, very, very quick hand. There's return speed. Well, it's not so much the blow going forward, it's the blow coming back as well, ladies and gentlemen, and where the wool is. You'll see some people, they actually end up overshooting when they come back, and there's no wool there. But this guy here, look at that hand, just incredible, isn't it, Richard?
It's great, and that's what it is. The speed comes from fast back, not from fast forward. It's fast back, and as you say, stopping right on the spot and keeping the handpiece the quickest ways back is on the skin, not throwing it around in the air in between blows. As you can see, Dr. Costa there in behind him. This is Costa here. That's certainly Costa there. And look at his board points. He's losing a bit outside, which is surprising for Costa. And he comes down that side. He is also on sheep number 5. So he's also right up there. He's not that far away. And he's a big man, this Costa, and he's got a slow hand. You look here you watch Much, he's going crazy, and the guy beside him's doing the same. But, oh, hang on. There you are. Gavin Much is a full sheep ahead. So that's why he's looking so much faster. Costa just casually goes in for sheep number 6. Much is actually going in for sheep number 8. So obviously Costa's had a wee bit of a problem somewhere along the line. He's actually will be shearing later in the New Zealand team against the Aussies. But at the moment, he's struggling to make this final here with this shear. If he doesn't go for the doctor and get himself going a little bit faster, it's not looking good for him, is it, Tuma?
No, the speed, especially with the amount of sheep that these guys have got, it does count. In the lower grades where you haven't got many sheep, 1 or 2 sheep, speed is not really a factor. But once you start having 10 sheep, 12 sheep, it's 1 point every 20 seconds. So when Gavin Much puts a sheep around you, even though it only takes you 1 minute, that's still 3 points, isn't it, Richard?
That's right, and it's a lot to make up.
It's too much for a lot of these guys to make up, and that's where these slower-handed guys, even though they have got the beautiful job, that's where they miss out. So you're right, up in this class, you haven't got time to tee-toy around. You need to pull your finger out of your backside, head down, bum up, and into it. And I think Costa might have listened because he's not that far behind at the moment.
Yeah, you're right there. And there's the young man, Murray Henderson. He was amazing how he managed to get through his board points and things. He had a horrible run into the heats and into the semis with the sheep playing up on him things, but he just maintained his composure, and he said, well, I've got this far, I'll make it to the final, he said. And he goes up there and clicks the top off there, comes up the neck, flicks around beside it there, and there's another shot of Costa there. But is this Costa? No, that's Murray Henderson again, still there on Murray Henderson. But look at those board points. And there's 7 sheep done, and he's a very, very good shearer. He's been around a long time. Has he made a final before? I'm not sure. He's been in the semis a few times, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe made 1 or 2 finals in the past. Tuma, do you know at all or not?
Well, I'm not sure as of yet, but I'm on to that right now. But he's another one of these guys, Richard. It's his return speed. It's hand returning that.
Yeah, just goes back as far as the wool is. No further. He's not going 12 inches back up the thing, just to where it is, and then in again. And that's the way he changes the hand pieces on 7, and been very quiet down the side. And I dare say shortly we might just catch a glimpse. And here he is, David Buick, the local man from Pongaroa, which is a little settlement out of Masterton, this local town here. Now he's a guy that would dearly love to get there. He would like to be the first man to bring the Golden Shears title back to Masterton. Hasn't been here, and he's just putting those big undermine blows in. He shears very, very well around Masterton here himself, but when he goes away, he seems to struggle a bit. He was up north a couple of weeks ago, and he struggled to even make a semi-final up there. But how do you rate his chances, Tuma? He's looking pretty good. Board points, pin points a little bit high, perhaps.
Yeah, pin points are a little bit high, but he is one of these guys, once he gets going, he is like a locomotive. And we've been following the shows around the lower North Island here, Richard, and he is one of these guys that when he hits his rhythm, not even Roland Smith can keep up to him. That's how he is. And he's one of these composed shearers. His head is perfectly still. It's all coming from the shoulder, and that's how it should be. I'm also pretty sure that David Buick is one of these guys. He's won the juniors, intermediate, seniors in every grade here at the Golden Shears and at the New Zealand Shearing Champs. But he's just missing that open grade. But he's very, very capable of that, Richard.
Yeah, there we are. Well, there you go. You've got Wairarapa, Abram, and Much at this end. You'll see the number 10 on the board there. Buick's actually got sheep number 10 on the board as well, so he's not too far behind them. Wairarapa, Abram, it looks like it's Much, the man there with the 2 blue shirts looking at him. Those are the judges there looking for these second cuts and things. He's just a few points from coming away and finishing the thing. How's the time? 8 minutes 57. So they're going to be a long way ahead. We could end up with none of those guys in the next heat, in that first heat getting through. Look at that. Holy smoke.
Well, it's been done before.
9 minutes. Yes, that's dead right. This will be your final here. Wairarapa, Abram looking at there. That's the boy there. But Buick, he's the man down the end. He pushes the button as well. Henderson and Costa are a wee way behind. No, there you go. Wairarapa, Abram still coming in looking. Although the sign shows that he'd had his 10. Obviously it hadn't. So he's a little bit behind. Much has really put the cat amongst the canaries, as you say. Look at it. Buick there right with them. Those 2 boys, I think they can go back and sharpen their gear and get it ready for the tonight show, unless they've done something terribly wrong. But Pirata Abram, there's Costa just going on to sheep 10. Murray Henderson puts the big undermine blows there. That's the man on stand 5. Pirate, I'd like to see what's happening with King down this end. It's a pity we just can't get that shot to catch in Dion King at this end to see what's happened with him. But that's Costa there on 4. But we're only just coming up to his Dion King. So obviously he's actually finished. He's scratching his head, not looking very happy.
He's got a
40. Yeah, that's.
He doesn't want to climb too much more than that.
Yes, you'd be right there. He's not that happy. But then when you look compared to the other ones, there's not going to be a lot in it. What was Rolly Smith? 38 was he, or 30?
38.5.
And what was the other man there? That was Stratty, wasn't it?
Stratty was 36.2.
So there you go. They're pretty much there. Much is about the same. So it'll be, crikey, it'll be slow. Thank you very much. You can see much thanking the guys in the pen for them. There's a lot of in this teamwork because those guys pulled the sheep out and put them in the right spot for them. Crikey, who do you think you're going to have in that one? Look at that.
She's going to be a nail biter.
It sure is. Crikey. You've only got 2 that are clearly under the 40. So, yes, I don't know. It's a bit scary, actually. There you go. There's Much at 37. He's the only one that's confirmed at this stage.
That puts him into second place behind Gavin, behind
there you
Stratty.
go. Pirata at 41.6.
Pirata's he's got not a bad chance here, Richard. We need to see what Dion King does, the king. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real nail biter. This is for our open class, and
it's
the
just
best of the best.
Panicking to see who's there, though, because we're as nervous as they are to see. We can't wait to see what happens. We'll rush away and have an early tea, and we'll be back here, see what goes on tonight, won't we?
Yep, that's for sure. I think we start off at 6:45 is when we start the evening session. And we
There's
come back.
There's a few events to get through, isn't there?
Yes, there is. We'll come back with the PGG Wrightsons. Now, these guys will be shearing 15 sheep. They'll have 3 merinos, 3 corridals, 3 long wools, 3 second shear, and 3 lambs. That's the first event, and she's going to be a cracker.
That's right, and that's where that Dr. Costa or Tony Costa, that's where he's regarded as the best in the world for shearing multiple breeds. He's not the fastest there. Here you go.
There's that brand new Santa Fe out there.
The David Buick, 36.2. Much of Scotland, 37.7. Henderson, 40.0. King, 40.8. Abraham, 41.68. And Costa, 43.2. So I'd say you're quite possibly those top 4 there are the ones that will go through with Roland. Is it Roland Smith and Stratty, I would say, is it?
Well, yeah, Stratty was 36.2, Roland Smith was 38.5. So those 2 guys are definitely in. But we probably should wait to see these points
see what
confirmed.
the judges say. They'll be happy. We'll start counting our chickens before they're hatched, and we could get ourselves into trouble.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will catch up with you at 6:45.
Thank you very much.
Also upsets the rhythm, and that can affect the outcome.
Plays with the head a wee bit.
So those open wool handling semi-finalists, finalists Joel Cherie, Pagan, and